it's Suzanne. I've received so many questions from you guys, and I am honored that you are interested in my first Eurovision experience, and I can't wait to share my feedback with you. So currently I am sitting in my hotel room. I'm traveling on business. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Saturday evening, in just a couple of nights, I am going to have the opportunity to see Celine Dion again. Saw her a couple of times several years ago, but I am thrilled because when I saw her initially, I had no idea that Celine was the 1988 Eurovision winner. And knowing that Celine won Eurovision makes this time around seeing her just that much cooler for me. But you all have questions for me, and so I am going to respond to your questions. Are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, so the first question that you all had for me was, did Portugal, did the destination play a role in my decision to attend Eurovision, and would I have attended regardless of the destination? So by the time it was decided that I would attend Eurovision for 2018, we knew that Portugal was the host country. I'm not certain that we knew Lisbon would be the actual destination, but we did know that Eurovision would be hosted in Portugal. So the destination itself didn't play a role in my decision to attend. For the last couple of years, I've really enjoyed participating in videos and interacting with my brother on a different level than we've done before, along with getting to know the wiwibloggs. And so my brother and the wiwibloggs are very much a part of my day-to-day life now, and I love that. But the more I participated and really leading up the road to Lisbon, I got to interact with you all and the fans, Eurovision fans, wiwibloggs fans. You all played one of the biggest roles in my desire to attend Eurovision. And now, having attended my first actual Eurovision, I can't tell you how much every single one of you warmed my hearts. I loved doing the live streams. I loved being there with you all on a daily basis. I loved the interaction. I had so much fun, and really you all were one of the biggest things about this experience that I love. And now that I'm home back in America, the fans, along with my brother and the other wiwibloggs, still play a huge role in my new ongoing love affair with Eurovision. And talking a little bit about this year's experience, I just want to say that I still believe in rainbows and unicorns, and I still believe that Siri and Storm should have fared much better in the grand final. So let's move on to the next question. Is Eurovision isolating as a heterosexual female? So, you know, it's funny, my mother recently met a long-term friend of mine who was in Atlanta for a wedding, and following the weekend, she says to me, "Is your friend Frank gay?" And I kind of laughed and I said, "Mom, why would you ask me that?" And her response was, "Well, most of the men in your life are gay, and he's just so nice, I am certain you're not dating him." So to my mother's point, most of the men, except for my felines, who are neutered, but most of the men in my life are gay. And so I'm very accustomed to being in the gay community, have been for years, and I'm comfortable there. So being with the gays has always been a safe place. I don't have to worry about being hit on. I don't have to worry about the obnoxiousness of some straight men. and so many of the fans, the bloggers, the press room, just so much beauty. So I wouldn't say that it's isolating at all. There were some very handsome heterosexual acts. Oh my gosh, Italy. I think I may have to move to Italy. Ermal and Fabrizio are just both beautiful inside and out. I thought they were beautiful walking into their interview and then listening to their interview, and how kind and soulful they both are made them that much more beautiful. Cesar Sampson, he is one good-looking man. So there were plenty of heterosexual people there. So no, I didn't find it isolating. I will say though that if I were looking for any Eurovision party in the hopes of finding a hot heterosexual to hang out with, I would probably have to hit the Australia party again. And after looking at some of the folks who attended the Australia party, I cannot wait for my time in Bali later this year. I'll be spending several days in Nusa Dua, where I understand many of the Australian surfers go. So based on what I saw at the Australian party, I am looking forward to my time in Nusa Dua. So long story short, no, I did not find this homonormative environment isolating as a heterosexual female. What was my favorite food to mukbang during our YouTube live streams? Eurovision was such an educational experience on so many levels. I didn't know what a mukbang was before. I also didn't know what a Tim Tam was or what a Tim Tam slam was. So I learned a lot. But my favorite food to mukbang was definitely the Tim Tam. Every single flavor of the Tim Tam. I loved doing the mukbangs with Robin. I loved doing the mukbangs with Robin and Sebastian. I loved the afternoon that we all, a lot of the team, did a Tim Tam slam together. So thank you, Sebastian, for introducing myself and so many others to the Tim Tam. I was elated when I returned to America and confirmed that I could indeed find Tim Tams at home. Was it unusual going to dance clubs where only Eurovision music is played? Well, going to a dance club in general for me might be unusual. Believe it or not, I actually did not make it out any of the nights that we were in Lisbon. So I was never in a dance club where only Eurovision music was played. The closest I came to this was the Wee Wee Jam. And wow, what an amazing experience the Wee Wee Jam was. So, you know, I think that when you do go to a nightclub, you expect to hear songs that are songs that you know, right? And so, based on the fact that we were all listening to Eurovision music day in and day out, had I been in a dance club, I don't think that I would have found it unusual. Was I homesick during my time in Portugal? I travel a lot for work, so being away from home, being away from my sweet kitty cats, Marlin, Snapper, and Mahi, that is not out of the ordinary for me. I was not homesick at all. I had my brother, I had our extended family. I was really having the time of my life acclimating myself to the Eurovision culture. Additionally, Portugal reminds me of one of my favorite places in the world, which is Bermuda. Every time I land in Bermuda, it always feels like a homecoming. And with Portugal having such a similar landscape to me, Portugal also felt like home. I really fell in love with the simplicity and the beauty of Lisbon, and really wish I had had more time there. On the note of being homesick, so no, I was not homesick. I really wish I had had more time there to just get out and explore more of Portugal. It was amazing. Is Post Eurovision Depression, PED, real? I'm going to answer the question, but before I begin to respond, I just want to preface this response by saying that depression is real, and it is a condition from which people really suffer. I've only been depressed once in my life, and during that short period of time, I gained an entirely new respect for depression. So I think that anytime you're totally ingrained in something fun, or you've been doing something for a while, it takes, 3 weeks to form a habit. And many of us were in Lisbon working Eurovision for close to 3 weeks. So being there really became part of our daily routine. I think it's hard to walk away from anything that is addictive, and again, another word that is technically a clinical term, but it's addictive and it really just draws you in, and you have so much fun, and it's so easy to get caught up in Eurovision. So is post-Eurovision depression real? Yeah, it is. I won't say that it's actual depression, but there was definitely a sadness, definitely a melancholy feeling about leaving. I sat with my brother the morning that we were leaving for a while before he left, because his flight was earlier than mine, and we were really just recapping you know, the events of our 17 days there together. We were talking about our cats, we were looking at cat climbers, and the saddest part for me was saying bye to my baby brother. But since I've been back in America, I have definitely missed Eurovision. I've missed seeing the same people in the press center every day. I've missed the nice walk down to Altice Arena. I miss the smell of honeysuckle that I smelled every morning. I miss the happy man statue that greeted us with a warm welcome every day. So I am excited for everything to begin for 2019, because I'm ready to have Eurovision in my life all over again. So yes, I would say that PED is real. Are there any personalities with whom I stay in touch? So this was my first Eurovision, and the one thing I noticed is, while people recognized me from wiwibloggs and people recognized me as William's sister, the people there in the press room or with the delegations, even some of the backup singers, and of course the fans, had been there year after year after year, and the relationships have been built over years, over decades, and so currently there is no one other than my brother and the rest of the wiwibloggs team with whom I stay in contact. But I met a lot of really great people with whom I shared amazing energy and a great connection, and I have no doubt that there will be individuals with whom I keep in contact. Will I attend any of the national selection shows for 2019? Gosh, I hope so. In January, I started responding to the different acts, and that was really a lot of fun. So I would love to be able to participate in some of the national selection shows this year. Unfortunately, geographically, attending many of them is not feasible. William and I have talked about attending Melfest together, so my hope is that I will visit Sweden in March, and that he and I can cover Melfest together. Either way, I will be following along very closely to all of the national selections, and I'm super excited. Many people are confused about the fact that I didn't know much about Eurovision until recently, despite the fact that my brother has done wiwibloggs for so long. So the question is, why didn't I know much about Eurovision until recently? So make no mistake, I am my brother's biggest fan every single day. There is no sister who is prouder of her brother or who loves her brother more. Eurovision is a huge part of my brother's life. I knew that Eurovision was a music song contest. I knew that my brother worked a highly trafficked website blog. I knew that he has won awards, or that wiwibloggs has won awards for being the top vlog in the UK. As far as anything beyond that, well, you're right, I didn't know a lot. I go out, I look at his pictures, I watch some of the videos. A couple of years ago, he got me to participate, and at first I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? And then I started having fun with it, and I gained a lot of interest. So yoga is a big part of my life. The day that I left to travel this week, I took 3 yoga classes the day before. I have my 500-hour certification as a yoga teacher. I continue to take continuing ed classes. Currently, I've taught over 1,500 hours of yoga. My brother probably couldn't tell you what type of yoga I practice or what type of yoga I teach. I'm not sure that my brother could even tell you what the different types of yoga are, or that he even knows that there are different types of yoga. But what I do know is that no brother is prouder of his sister, and no brother loves their sister more. So I don't know that I need to know the ins and outs of exactly what he's doing, although I am so excited that he introduced me to Eurovision, because Eurovision has certainly changed my life for the good. Super excited to be part of the Eurovision family and to get to know other people who love Eurovision, to get to give back to all of the fans. And so while I didn't know anything about Eurovision other than the fact that my brother loved Eurovision, I am certainly happy to be a part of it now.